of the wonderful people of Biafra. Before we continue this evening, as is always and customary with us, we must hand over our proceedings to Almighty God in heaven to come and take charge, come and take control, but above all, to open the minds and the brains of our people to understand the need, to understand the importance of what we are trying to accomplish in their lives. We must pray. And I'm also going to pray in the language of heaven. That is what we do all the time. We pray in the language of the ancients. The same way somebody reminded me the other day, the same way that, or should I say, early Christendom used to pray in Latin. It doesn't matter if you understand Latin or not, but they felt that if they pray in Latin, that God will listen to them. And he did listen to them. The same way that we believe in this day and age, that if we pray in the oldest language known to man, the Igbo language, that Elohim himself in heaven will listen to us. It's only one in a Chineke na den summer room baby. Onye ọbụla anyị aka anyị na-efe wee na-akwụ isi ala ihe anya ya efe arụsị nna ndị nsọ Chineke na-ekwu nwa ogbenye onye ọbụla anya na-agbọrọ ndị ya ọbụ onye ịhụnanya ya na ebere ya amara ya na ọmịiko ya mmeso ọma ya na-adịgide n'ime ndụ ndị na-ebu ndị ji onwe ntụkwasị obi tụmadị anya onwe anyị bụ ụmụ ya bụ ndị Biafra n'ụwa niile ezinụlọ IPOB nke ya onwe ji aka ya wee hiwe ndị nche Eastern Security Network anyị wee na-akpọkọ eze ebube ngozi wee gwere njem niile nke anyị onwe anyị na-aga onye fere na ọ gbadara agaghị nna nke igwe n'ihi na ọ bụ naanị ikikere niile o nweghị ihe ọbụla eji ama atụ so n'ọbịa yiri o nweghị ihe ọbụla nke onwe kere eke nna nke ebere ngozi ka anyị ga-eji wee maa atụ si ihe dị etu a dịka Chineke nna nke bi n'igwe n'ihi nke a anyị onwe anyị bụ ndị o were anya na eboghị mmadụ eboghị mmụọ ịbụ Chineke anyị wee na-arịọ gị wee na-arịọsi gị ka na-akpọkọ aha nsọ gị na-asị na ihe niile nke anyị onwe anyị na-eme n'ihi aha nsọ gị eze ebube ngozi anyị wee na-asị na ndị nwere apụtakwa anyị ime ọzọ na ndị Britain abịakwa ọzọ ụmụ ekwensu ndị ọchịchịrị si n'ebe ha si wee kunie anyị wee na-arịọ gị eze ebube ngozi Chineke nna nke pụrụ ihe nne ka iwe mere anyị ebere ma zọpụta anyị n'aka ajọ ihe ka iwe cheta okwu ọgba ndụ gị n'isi ụmụ gị nna nke ebere ngozi n'ihi na ikwere anyị na ngwa si mgbe ọbụla anyị kpọrọ gị nna na gị onwe ga-akpụkwa anyị ụmụ dịka esi otu ọgụ ịzọpụta anyị n'aka ndị iro dịka isi wee napụta ndị nna nna anyị ha mgbe gboo sikwa etu abịa ka i wee napụta anyị n'ụbọchị nke taa onye nwe m na Chineke nna eze ebube dị ngozi kwere n'ihi akwa nke anyị na-ebe n'ude nke anyị na-asụ wee nụrụ ekpere anyị n'ụbọchị nke taa ka i wee zọpụta anyị ma nye anyị Biafra jide obodo kweziguzu ma laa ya n'ihi nna nke igwe ka aka nsị ndị iro wee baa ha ọnụ ka ha rabụrụ n'ikiri igwe esi na Biafra agaghị adị ndị etu agaghị adị ka ha rabụ ndị litere nna nke ebere dị ngosi na IPOB ya agaghị adị nna nke igwe ihe na ndị etu a ga-apụta ihe ije mgbe ha niile n'otu n'otu n'ihi na ikwu anyị nkwa na mmeri bụ nke anyị n'ihi na anyị bụ ụmụ gị anyị bụ ụmụ Chineke anyị wee na-asị dịka esi were Israel were akụkọ mba ụwa niile dị iche iche ka a ga-esi were Biafra wee kọọ akụkọ na mgbe oge ahụ ga-eru agasị na ndị dị etu a nwee ntụkwasị obi ha niile ebe Chineke nna nke bi n'igwe na wee zọpụta ha anyị wee na-asị gị na otu na nsọpụrụ na eji mma site n'ebighị ma ruo n'ebibi ka na-adọ gị ise having prayed in the language of heaven, we must proceed this very evening to lecture, to tutor, to enlighten and to educate our people all over the world as to what the damnable zoological republic portends for everybody. Regardless of who you are, regardless of your status, regardless of your station and your standing, the zoo is an abomination. I am going to start with the life of those we call the Fulefus, the traitors and the saboteurs. And given the statement made by Katrina Lang, the British High Commissioner to the damnable Zoological Republic, the creators of the zoo, of course, I start this evening by letting the whole world understand the way that colonialism worked, the way that European supremacists worked. I want to remind the world how Britain worked in the past and how they have been working and how they intend to continue to work as we move into the future. And I want people to listen very carefully. Bring your pen and paper with you if you don't have them already, because you may find it very, very handy. And as always, Alamajiri Janjaweed should bring their slate and their chalk, because I don't think that they are, should I say, intelligent enough to appreciate the essence, or should I say the importance, written language. What is happening today, we have seen it all before in the past, and I want our people to pay very, very close attention to what I have to say this evening. What we are witnessing today, we have seen it all in the past. I'm sure that some of you have seen what I call the Keke diplomacy, because I think she's using Keke Napep to travel. She's been to Lagos, she has been to Calabar, they have been to Bayelsa. I'm sure they have been to one or two places also in the heartland of Biafra land. They have also been to Niger States to go and see Abdul Salami Abubakar. They're everywhere. And they even invited Tinubu to come and make a speech in the north to try to reinforce, should I say, this fake unity between the Yorubas and the Fulanis. Why I'm saying this is because history.
Bitcoin se dispara como vimos hace un momento tras Tesla comprar.
Arochukwu fell in 1904. I want you to pay attention this evening. Arochukwu, our spiritual capital, the spiritual capital of Biafra land. Because all of them calling themselves, I'm from a job, I'm from a job. Most of them are from Arochukwu, of course. We know that for sure. Arochukwu, the same way you have the house of Levi or Levi in Israel, is how you had the house of Arochukwu as well. They are a priestly clan. They are a priestly clan dedicated to the service and worship of the Almighty God in heaven. Hence their name, Arochukwu. That was our temple. Britain had to destroy it in 1904. The reason why they destroyed it was to try to prove to themselves that these people do not have any history. Because a people without history is a lost race. Because see, they asked the white man after independence in 1960 about the great Biafran people, and they said that we have no history. They forgot to tell you that they destroyed our temple so that they can bring their own version or understanding or knowledge of God to us. I remember somewhere in Oka, they called Henry. A Roman Catholic priest was preaching to him, telling him about God and having to give his life to Jesus Christ. And Henry told him that he is not qualified to preach God to him because he himself is directly descended from God Almighty in heaven. That we are ancient people, that we knew God before anybody else. This is a slight detour, but I'm trying to build a foundation for our people to actually, give greater understanding and meaning to what I have to preach this very evening. Arochukwu fell in 1904 after many years of war. Even when Arochukwu fell, the same way we have ESN today, we formed a Kumeku then. 7 sons from Arochukwu traveled all the way to Anioma to go and form a Kumeku that you hear today in Anioma, which is Northern Delta State. And they continued fighting every inch of the way. But let me tell you something. Before Nigeria was formed, Britain had to destroy the one spiritual center that brought enlightenment to the people. Without the fall of Arochukwu, there wouldn't have been anyone in Nigeria, because barely 10 years after the fall of Arochukwu, the zoo was created. Effectively, the amalgamation took place, giving birth to this so-called one Nigeria in the year 1914. And let me tell you why Arochukwu fell. And you must pay attention this evening. Arochukwu fell because the white man attacked Arochukwu with about 1,700 heavily armed men. Attacked our temple in Arochukwu. It's something that Katrina Lang is doing today. Because anywhere the woman visits, anytime the woman leaves her office in Abuja to travel all over the place, death always follows her. Go and check it anywhere. It was when she traveled to Tinubu during NSAS protest that the army opened fire. That woman is a blood-sucking demon. Get on the line. Listen very carefully to what I've told you this evening. After the fall of Arochukwu in 1904, they amalgamated the zoo in 1914. And they asked Lugard, why are you amalgamating the North and the South? He said, because the North is poor. Till today, the North is still very poor, dependent on the South to survive. That is why they have this stranglehold over our oil and gas. The only, should I say, item uniting the zoo together. How did they manage to succeed? How did they manage to succeed in taking Arochukwu? They used Igbo people to take Arochukwu. The same thing they're trying to do today, trying to use Biafrans to destroy what IPOB is doing. The same way that the white man used Ghanaians to defeat Nigerians. In those days, they went to Gold Coast, Britain, raised an army, a force called the West Africa Frontier Force. British-led, of course. It was Ghanaians fighting alongside white people that helped them to colonize the place you call Nigeria today. It's a very simple tactics they've used over the centuries. But if you're not educated, if you're not enlightened enough, if you don't have any self-worth nor pride, you won't understand or appreciate what I'm saying. They came to Arochukwu, it fell in 1904. How did it fall? Because there were some people who were criminals. Some people who were sold, because in those days, before they sell you as a slave, you must have committed something. The same way you are, there's some of you driven away from IPOB. We chased you away because you are evil. You know what the British did in preceding before 1904? Whenever somebody is cast away from his village, regardless of whatever their crime may have been, in those days they are sold. Some were criminals, some engaged in behavior that was considered so antisocial that they have to remove them from the from the clan itself, which is the highest, punishment you can give to anybody who is from Biafra, is to remove them from the Omona clan or his kindred. Do you know what Britain did? Britain waited, kept taking all these people who were disgruntled, took them to Uguta. You see Uguta? That was where they housed, they camped them in Uguta, waiting and waiting. So those people were very upset, very angry. The same way that some governors are today with IPOB, ESN, the usual way they do things. They camped them at Uguta until they wanted to launch the final assault on our temple in Arochukwu in 1904. They now went and brought these people. They told them, if you destroy this temple, this is the temple, these are the people that have made your life a misery. These are the people that wanted to sell you. You must now come and help us to destroy them. And I must also warn you so that you must know this. The reason why the likes of Zeke were produced in our land, the reason why things are the way they are in Biafra was because our forefathers, our ancestors did not give their first son or their first sons to the white man to train. They gave them their servants because they felt that the white man was going to experiment with our people. So most of the people that they trained, that went to all those missionary schools, and some of them traveled abroad and came back, did not quite understand what it means to be a Biafran. An Igbo Biafran, an Efik Biafran, an Ibibio Biafran, they never knew anything. Most of them were slaves. They didn't quite know because the custodian, the authorholder in every family, the spiritual guide and light of every home is the first son, even the way it is in the Bible. That is why the first son always received double portion of the father's inheritance. When the white man came, our fathers did not give them our first sons. We said no to them. We gave them those that, should I say, that came after the first son. Why am I telling you this thing this evening is because they have come again. Britain has come again with the same method, the same modus operandi. That's the way they always operate. They try to use you to destroy yourselves. They took these men to Arochukwu. A force of 1,700 men attacked Arochukwu in 1904, mostly from Uguta. These were rejects, outcasts, those who were criminals in our villages. The Britain assembled them. Then disgruntled, the same thing that BBC is doing today, and used them to attack Arochukwu. And Arochukwu fell. Our own people actually destroyed their own temple. In the year 1960 to 1967, they did the same thing as well. They groomed saboteurs of the highest grade, like Opa Biasika. Front-line saboteurs. For 7 years, they groomed them. So that when they started the slaughter of Biafrans in the north, they engaged them to try to castigate Ojukwu and to run our eternal leader, Dim Chukwuemeka down. And after the war, the lives of Opa Biasika was compensated. The same thing that they're doing today, trying to use some of you who are ignorant of history. The same way they're trying to use Tinubu in the West. The same way they used Afonja in Yoruba land. None of you ever learn. You have history, you study it. Some of you are intelligent enough to go through history books. You know all these things, but you fail to learn from it. What is the difference between today and when Hausa land was taken? What is the difference between today when Nupe land was taken in Niger State? What is the difference between today when Jukun land was taken? What is the difference between today and when Bagi land was taken from Bagi people by Fulani? What is the difference between today, what the governors are doing and what the likes of Tinubu are doing to what Hausa peasants did to themselves many years gone by? Every time I come here and I preach to you to understand the dangers you're facing and the danger you're in your useless one Nigeria, you don't want to reason, you don't want to think very well. I have told you severally, if you stay in one Nigeria, you become Fulanized. They will take you over. Fulani will emasculate you with the help of the British. Because Britain need idiots to be in power in Abuja for them to continue to take our oil and gas for free. It's a very simple program they have. All the oil companies are in it together. Ajib, ExxonMobil, Halliburton, Texaco, Eni, Elf, Mobil, name them, they're all in it together. Why would they allow you to have a country that is viable when they can get oil and gas for free and sell it at very high and exorbitant prices abroad, even bring it back to you to buy at over 500 naira per liter of fuel? Because you are foolish. Because you are a Nigerian, because you cannot reason properly. That is why they try to engage some of you, idiotically of course, to fight the very noble cause that IPOB is championing. My happiness today is that most of you have now woken up. Most ethnic nationalities are now rising up to say that they want to also be free. They too want to be free. We started it by the grace of God Almighty in heaven. And it is going to come to completion very, very soon. And we are all going to be free. But you must remain very strong and resolute. Very strong and resolute. Don't allow yourselves to become distracted. Especially our Oduduwa brothers and sisters. You must remain strong. No matter what happens, they will float the likes of Tinubu all they like. They will bring up every idiot in their arsenal. They will bring up some robbers. They will bring up some chiefs, some idiots. Like one fool writing today, claiming it's from Oxford. One idiot like that. God, I think it's Antonio Cruzania or say Akinsomi. I don't know what the idiot's name is. They will bring them. You see, these fools, they are black people. Black people are noted for one thing in life: self-destruction. They always destroy themselves. That is why I think there's a popular saying in America, even in UK in those days, that black people are like crabs in a bucket. Instead of them to allow one to go out to see what is happening outside and help them to come out, if you want to climb up, they will always drag you down. That is in the psyche and the makeup of a black man. That is why they are poor. That is why in every society you go around the world, black people are at the bottom of the ladder. There is a reason for that. And as I always say when I come on air, it is because of the way you reason. It is only the way you reason that is keeping you down. If some of you can take out the time to listen to our broadcast over the years, you will see that we got to where we are today because we have been very, very consistent. Consistency is the key. No matter what they throw at you, you remain focused and consistent. Today, that is what Katona Lang is doing. I am a British citizen. Some of you may be wondering that he is British. Why is he castigating Britain for their role in entrenching terrorism and poverty in Africa, and especially in the zoo that they created called Nigeria? I am a British citizen, yes, that is true. But I subscribe to that very school of thought that an Englishman is a conscientious being. Most of the good things that happened all around the world was done by English people. From abolition of slavery to the universality of education and rights of men. They are part and parcel of English common law. And an ordinary Englishman has conscience. An ordinary British person is a God-fearing, or should I say, a conscientious being. But there is a handful, a minority of Satanists at Foreign and Commonwealth Office, at BBC, doing the work of Lucifer, trying to cage us in the 21st century, trying to tell you and I that we are monkeys, that we don't have any brain, trying to tell us that we must bow before a white man. You have to bow before them because they are British. And I say no to that. And that is why they have come. That is why Britain is providing military support for a regime that they know is actively aiding and abetting terrorism. This is something that the world must understand this evening. The British government, led by Boris Johnson, who incidentally is a Jew, very sad indeed. In other words, his ancestors, his forefathers knew persecution. But Boris Johnson is presiding over the reign of evil and terror in Nigeria, courtesy of Katona Lang, the British High Commissioner to the zoo called Nigeria. And why am I saying all these things? I'm saying all these things because the Fulani people are attacking us in Enugu and in Ebonyi State. They did so yesterday and also today. This comes as a time when Katona Lang invited the British Army to come to the aid of the Nigerian Army in order to tackle the resistance we are putting up against Fulani encroachment into our land. Over all these years, Britain never for once provided any technical or strategic partnership to Nigeria in order to defeat Boko Haram and Fulani banditry. Never. Now that we have said that enough is enough, that Fulani will not take our land from us, they have now come to provide help as usual. That is the reason why yesterday the Nigerian army and police were providing cover for Fulani headsmen carrying out attacks in our villages, especially in Ebonyi State. The Ebonyi State governor is there, his name is Dave Umahi. Dave Umahi is in support of the slaughter of his own people. By people they claim are from Mali, from Niger Republic, from Senegambia. Britain is providing military and technical assistance to the Nigerian army that they know are complicit in the reign of terror going on in Nigeria today. Everybody knows that. They no longer report all the atrocities being committed by Fulani headers, so to speak. No more. Their focus is on how to keep Nigeria one. And I want people to listen very carefully. If being one with other people is a very good thing, why did Britain support the disintegration of Yugoslavia? Why was it that Margaret Thatcher worked so assiduously hard with Gorbachev to ensure that the Soviet Union is dismantled? With the American president, of course, Ronald Reagan. Why is it, I ask myself, did Britain leave the EU? If diversity is a wonderful thing, if being in one big family is a good thing, I'm asking Katrina Lang this evening, that demon of a woman, why did Britain leave the EU? Why? If being together is wonderful, if being in this big family is a great thing, why did you leave the EU? I'm asking Katrina Lang. This evening, she cannot answer this very question. But what they have done is to continue to provide cover for Fulani terrorists and killers to come into our land to try to take over the land of our ancestors. And it's not going to happen, not under my watch. I've said it before. It doesn't matter how many Efulefus you grew. It doesn't matter how many saboteurs you pay. It doesn't matter what BBC does. It doesn't matter what Yoruba corrupt journalists do or write about. It's irrelevant to us. It doesn't concern us. We're moving ahead. We are going to defend our land, and we're doing so very, very tenaciously. Anybody with any doubt should go and see what happened in Enugu and also in Ebonyi. We are not going to concede an inch of our land to anybody. I'm saying this evening so that all of you are aware of what is about to happen before it happens. I am placing it on record this evening, morning, noon, or night, depending on where you are, that Fulani Army, with their Fulani Police Commissioner in Ebonyi State and in Enugu State, respectively, they are the ones providing riding shotgun for terrorists to attack our villages. Nigerian Army, I want you to understand this very carefully. I want you to understand this. All of you idiots, some of the fools, writing and talking rubbish all the time. I want you to understand this very clearly. In our villages right now, as I speak, in Ebonyi State, Nigerian Army are the ones providing armed escort for Fulani murderers to come to our villages to slaughter people. I hope you understand it very clearly. Because when you hear the news, later on, don't be shocked nor surprised. Because we can't fold our arms and all this nonsense will be going on. Pakistan never supplied any aircraft to the zoo at the height of Boko Haram insurgency or at the height of banditry. I want you people to, I don't know how to explain this to people so that they can understand it. You need to know this. Do you know that this evening, before we came live on air, it was reported that the main person who is instrumental, or should I say who was instrumental in the bringing of Fulani banditry and terrorism into Nigeria, Governor El Rufai of Kaduna State, he withdrew his children from school because of the fear of bandits that they may kidnap his children. Are you aware of that? This evening, before we come live on air, Britain will not see that. Catholic will not see that. No. What concerns them is we must do everything within our powers to ensure that BIAFRA will not come, because we want to keep on taking oil and gas for free. But unfortunately, some of you that claim you went to school, you cannot see all these things. I don't know if it is if you're naturally daft or because you're blind. I don't know what the type of disease afflicting some of you. I have no idea. Let God have mercy upon your wretched souls, I'm telling you. Ask yourself this question. Before BBC will convinces you to work for them, before Katrina Lang, working for British intelligence, convinces you that Nigeria should be won, ask yourself this question. What are their arguments? What arguments are they putting forward to validate their insistence that Nigeria should be won? I think it is that there is unity, that is strength in diversity. All this nonsense. Then ask Katrina Lang, are you a British woman? Then says yes. Why are you not in the EU? Why did you hold a referendum to leave the EU? Simple question. That goes to tell you that this position they are holding cannot stand any rigorous scrutiny. It cannot stand it. Can never stand it. You saw Tinubu running all the way to Kaduna, telling you they are doing Arewa. Arewa and the Yoruba are one. Tinubu forgot to tell you that somebody behaved exactly the same way that he did many, many years ago. And that was the reason why Yoruba people lost a lot in the same behavior. You people, you don't know anything. Well, look at the last of Dave Umahi and all the stupid, idiotic governors you have in the East. All of them. The weak case of the idiots talking rubbish. They don't know what they are heaping in store for their children. They have no idea. And I have said this before. If you want to know what your lives will be like in the next 50 years without Eastern Security Network, without IPOB, look at Hausa people. Look at Hausa people. How useless and hopeless their lives have become under their Fulani masters. All of you never learn. You make the same mistakes every day. I read some idiots writing some junk about Nigeria being great. One of the things you need is population. And I'm just looking at them and I'm laughing at them. Japan is a major world power. How many people are there in France? Yoruba population is more than that of France. France is a superpower. They have a permanent seat at the UN Security Council. What is wrong with black people? I keep asking myself, what is wrong? Can't you see that death is coming to you? Can you not see it? No, you can't. They came to Enugu yesterday and we met them. They came to Ebonyi and we met them. And we shall continue to meet them wherever we find them until we rid our land of all these people. And I have said, I think we have about 3 days to run. Nigeria Police and Nigeria Army. You see all those abductions you're doing, each time you go and abduct people. From this night, I'm giving this very order. We are going to organize ourselves into self-defense units in our land. Anytime you see a police helos enter into any residential area to make an arrest, block them off and burn down their vehicle. From tonight. If you allow them to do, they will continue to abduct people. That is one of the tricks that Britain taught them. Terrorism comes in two forms, either by non-state actors or by state actors. In this case, the army and the police. In Anambra, in Abia, in Imo, especially. We must resist them. Let me tell you what will happen if you do nothing. That is something that I don't understand what is wrong with some of us. Fulani will take over our land. They will appoint their emirs. It may take a while, but it will happen. Eventually, our lives will become as hopeless and idiotic as that of Hausa people. That our land that our ancestors gave to us, that very land that God gave to us, will be given to other people. That is why we must not allow Britain to succeed in what they're planning to do to us. They want to obliterate us from the face of this very earth. That is why they killed over 5 million people. 5 million Biafrans were murdered and slaughtered in cold blood between 1967 and 1970. Between 1967 and 1970, there was no inquiry. There was no outrage all over the world. There was no worldwide condemnation of it because Britain sat on it. They want to see all of us dead. Britain would rather every Biafran is dead than to relinquish our oil and gas, which they're holding on to. And I have said to them, take the damn oil and gas and leave us alone. And they won't listen. And they are going to use the Fulani to do this very work. They will use some affiliates within us to do this very work for them. When we speak the way we do, they say we talk of war all the time. But tell me what the Fulanis had in mind when they attacked Enugu yesterday. When they attacked Ebonyi yesterday and today, what do they have in mind? Peace. Some of you do not understand that what we did was to provoke the Fulani to act before time. Fulani planned to take over our towns and our villages in 2022. We preempted them. We forced them to act before time, that all their plans against us may come to nothing. And we have succeeded in doing that. And these are the things that you must bear in mind. Our villages are being attacked in Ebonyi with the support of the Nigerian Army. If you go and ask the garrison commander in Ebonyi State of Nigerian Army, they will tell you they are providing cover for Fulani murderers in Ebonyi State with the active connivance of the state governor, Dave Umahi. We have clear and incontrovertible evidence of army support for Fulani terrorists that these same people claim are foreigners. Some of you are just talking about 2023, talking about election. I don't know what is wrong with it. Maybe they say whom the gods want to destroy, they first make mad. A lot of people in the zoo are mad. A lot of Nigerians are mad, believe you me, because I believe that God wants to use the Fulani to destroy all of you. Because we are all insane. Let me also remind Britain and Katrina Lang that we would not surrender any inch of Biafra land to Islamic terrorists. It will not happen. We will not rather die than to see that happen. You people have succeeded in trying to suppress the media. You know, it's very funny, you know. Anytime there's an allegation against ESN or IPOB, if you go to Google search, you see it. Yesterday, we issued a rebuttal of all the nonsense they've been claiming or talking about. It is not on Google. For you to find it, you have to Google Eastern Security Network. You can see it. What IPOB said about all the frivolous and idiotic allegations from their naval, whatever rubbish the idiot is called. It's not there. They bought over Google as well as they have bought over Facebook and bought over everybody else. Because Britain is the one advising them on what to do. Their strategies, of course, they're the ones advising them on what to do. They will write a fake news. They will call AF. The same idiot saying he's doing fact check was the idiot that still planted the fake news to start with. They come back and they say fact check and they put it under my name. When you do Google search, NNAMDI, you see it under my name and under IPOB. I had nothing to do with any of these things. What they are trying to do is to damage us before the international community. That is what Katrina Lang, the British High Commissioner, is telling them to do. But if you are of weak disposition, you crumble. They know we cannot crumble. They understand that very well. They know we are not going to go back. They understand. They know how unbelievably stubborn we are. Now they understand it very well. We are not going anywhere. And we are going to rid our land of every terrorist in our forest. They can go into the townships and where they get these people they are killing, I have no idea. But ESN is in the forest. We are not in the street. We're not on the streets yet. Very soon we'll come anywhere. Not now. We're in the forest. You go set up roadblocks and checkpoints, and you arrest people and you kill them, and you claim they're ESN. And the zoo useless Gota media is writing rubbish. ESN is in the forest. We are. You see the way we kid when we parade. That's how we are in the forest. The army cannot come to the forest to look for it because they know they will die. If they come there, they will die. They understand that very well. So they engage themselves by harassing innocent people, arresting them and murdering them in cold blood, claiming they are ESN. You arrest pastors, you torture them, and under duress you give them a statement to read, and they read for you. You think we are all foolish? All the years of Boko Haram rage, no imam was arrested. But you come to our land with the help of idiotic governors, you arrest whoever you like, you torture them into submission, you rape our women. Let me ask you this very simple question. Has Katrina Lang ever commented about the rape of the victims, of the women? How many Yoruba newspapers wrote about it? I said, how many? How many? Because they're not Yoruba women. That is the country you want to belong to. That is your one Nigeria for you. Very sick people. The army came to our villages to attack. Those of you who are still sleeping, one day you wake up to realize that what you have done to yourselves is irredeemable. One day you wake up from your stupidity, your hopelessness, and your slumber to realize that IPOB has been right all along. Fulani will take you over, will kill you and slaughter you. Britain will support them by providing help for the Nigerian army. That's very useless army that never won any battle in their history, never defeated any enemy, except with the help of foreigners. They're not ashamed of themselves. I say, oh, Nigerian army will come. I say, Britain, leave them to come alone. Britain, Pakistan, leave Nigerian army to come to the forest of the East alone. You see what we do to them. Then they rely on, they go to Chad, they go to Niger, they go to Britain, they go to Pakistan, they go to Turkey, they beg everybody to fight for them. Shameless people, come alone, come alone. That we may show you how fanatical we are about our freedom. I'm sure some of them detest it now and again anyway. All of you in your military uniform in our land, killing, abducting people, you are going to die there. That I can assure you. It doesn't matter who you have as your godfather. You will die in the land of Biafra. I can assure you of that. Our governors, so-called governors, do not have the balls to stand up to defend their own people. That is why all this nonsense is happening. I have not heard any Enugu State governor come out to condemn Fulani headsmen attack on our communities in Enugu State. I have not heard Dave Umahi come out to condemn what is happening in Enugu. And these are our frontline states. It's only ESN who is fighting and dying in the process of trying to defend our land. Some of you do not understand what we go through on a daily basis. You have no idea. I can give the order to ask ESN not to engage Fulani anymore. Some of you, your villages will be overrun overnight. But we are doing this very work because Elohim had asked us to do it. I tweeted earlier today, for those of you who follow me on Twitter, and I must encourage everyone to be on Twitter anyway. All of us who are now being pressed down by Fulani Janjaweedism and British neo-colonialism, we are going to fight back. Because that is the only way to survive. You see, in the history of this world, when an oppressor comes to oppress you, as the Fulanis are now doing with their British organ, you only have one option, is to fight back. You don't beg. If you beg, you're finished. Go through history. It is replete with instances and landmark dates in history where people rose up to say, enough is enough. Do you know that the USA you're talking about today was essentially founded by Englishmen? They left England. I said English people. George Washington is English, or should I say of English descent. So also is Thomas Jefferson. All the great people of the United States of America's independence are all British, all English blood, English. One day they said enough is enough. They're English people. They said enough is enough. We must be free. They went to war, they fought, and they became free. Everywhere, even the pathetic so-called independence in Africa, they said enough was enough. All the nationalists say enough is enough. And that is what we need to do now to be free. If you go throughout history, people only became free by rising up and saying, enough is enough. And that is what we are calling for right now, for everybody to stand up to say, enough is enough of this Fulani nonsense. How can you stay in a country, president is Fulani, judiciary Fulani, army Fulani, Navy Fulani, everywhere Fulani, police Fulani, everything they have taken over. They are the most corrupt. Yet the anti-corruption agencies are headed by Fulani people. Can't you people see all these things? Are you that foolish? Some talk about restructuring because they do not understand what lies ahead for them. There must be disintegration and partition of Nigeria. The same way it was with Yugoslavia. That is how it's going to be. Britain cannot support the disintegration of Yugoslavia, and when it comes to the zoo that they created called Nigeria, they say no. They cannot. We won't let them. The same thing that applied to Yugoslavia must apply in the zoo that they created. Some of you talking about one Nigeria, you have no shame. You were created by a white man and a white woman, no African. Frederick Lugard and Flora Shaw. You are busy trying to defend what is in essence indefensible. All of you defending one Nigeria, I want you to go to Europe, anywhere in Europe tomorrow morning and tell them that you want to create a country in Europe. They'll put you in a mental home. They'll say you're mad. Go and try it. But all of you are willing to die to defend what your ancestors did not create. Yet you got poor libation. I say some of these idiots, jobbers and the so-called ACs and chiefs, you go and you pour libation, you take hot drink. You pour to your ancestors. After pouring libation for your ancestors to bless you, you say, God bless Nigeria as well. Those your ancestors you're pouring libation for, did they create one Nigeria? That is why all your prayers go unanswered. You're pouring libation, hot drink on the ground, wine, praying to the spirit of your ancestors. Some of you do that every day. After pouring libation, you come back to defend one Nigeria, something that your so-called ancestors you are praying to did not create. Can you see how flowery your idiocy is? Who created the heavens and the earth? God. That's why we worship him. You worship what creates you. Why do we love our mother especially? Because our mother, in essence, gave birth to us. God created us through our mothers, through their womb. Isn't it? Who created Nigeria? Frederick Lugard. I have asked this question so many times. Black people, you as a black African, are you not ashamed of yourself? That you're defending what you did not create. You're defending what a white man created, a company, United Africa, a company that they called a country afterwards. You are defending what is indefensible. I keep asking them, all these people saying one Nigeria, let us not allow Nigeria to break. Did your father create Nigeria? The answer is no. Never did. Your mother never created Nigeria. Your ancestors never did. Now ask yourself, what is the motive of the white man and white woman that created Nigeria? They created Nigeria as a British business enterprise, not to serve your interest. That is why when you're being killed, Britain will say nothing. That is why during COVID-19 lockdown, palliative, they stole all the palliatives, Britain said nothing. They only come out because they know that once Nigeria divides, there will be a country called Biafra. They will pay for the oil and gas they are currently stealing for free. That is all. That is why they want one Nigeria. That is the only reason why. But fools don't understand. Some people like the Fulanis connect with them because Fulani also understand that their fortune lies by supporting the British in what they're doing. And this is what I call neo-colonialism. That's what it is. How many times does all the ambassadors to the court of St. James in London go about visiting the whole of England, asking them to, in fact, let me put it this way, during the debate on Brexit, did you see the Greek ambassador or the German ambassador touring the whole of UK, going to Northumbria, going to East Anglia, traveling all the way to the coast in the south, or to Wales to campaign for Britain to remain in the EU? But there is a German ambassador in London. There is a French ambassador in London. Let me ask you again. Let me make Nigerians understand how foolish they are. Let me let the world understand why black people are considered inferior. I want to let the world know this evening that blacks are inferior because of the way black people reason. Black people do not reason like human beings. Let me ask you again. Katrina Lang, the British High Commissioner, is an ordinary ambassador. Ordinary ambassador. She is touring the whole place, telling us to be in one Nigeria. I want to ask Katrina Lang, during the height of the Brexit debate, did your counterparts, did your Japanese ambassador to the court of St. James, that's what they call it, to Her Majesty's government, did the Japanese ambassador ever tour the whole place saying, oh, we need the EU market for our cars that we are manufacturing in Sunderland? The Nissan we have in Sunderland, we need to sell in the EU market. You must join them. Did you hear that the Japanese ambassador was touring the whole of the UK, trying to compel them to remain in the EU? The answer is no. Then why are you allowing Katrina Lang to do the same thing in your land? Because you are black. because you are inferior. Do you understand it now? It's a very simple question. I've asked you before, why is it that you allow things to be done to you that these same people will not allow you to do to them? Katolang is moving about, British High Commissioner in Nigeria, asking you, one Nigeria, let's be one. Diversity, your population, all that rubbish. When Britain wanted to leave the EU, let me ask Katolang, did the Japanese ambassador travel all over the UK asking UK citizens to remain in the EU? That tells you that you are black, you are a Nigerian, you are inferior, you are an animal to these people. They have no regard for you. No regard. You know, some of you when you see a white man come to a white woman, you think you have been blessed by God because you are mentally inferior. You are inferior. You are not worthy to be called a human being. Honestly speaking, we must fight back. That is the only way forward. You can never beg your way out of oppression. You rise up and you confront it. Kwame Nkrumah did. Nelson Mandela did. Steve Biko did. Patrice Lumumba did. Marcel did of Mozambique. You must rise up and say enough is enough. And that's what we're doing right now. Fulani will not take our land. I'm telling the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Fulani will not take our land. I assure you it can't happen. Therefore, Fulani will not take our land. All the loans you took from Islamic Bank to build flyover in Abakaliki, hell well and good. Fulani will not take our land. All the so-called Eastern governors, the Southeast and South-South, I'm assuring you today that Fulani will not. You can hire every idiot you like to give press statement in Abuja. You know, that's what they do very well. You know, they don't know we have outgrown that phase. Aborigine of Cross River, Aborigine of Akwa Ibom, Aborigine of Rivers, Aborigine of Bayelsa. They said I'm not Biafra. Are you talking to idiots? You think we don't know anything? Of course, published by Daily Trust, a Fulani paper. They will not write about the fact that today El Rufai have withdrawn the children from schools in Kaduna because of the fear of bandits. They will never tell you that, will they? Nigeria is sinking every blessed day. Some of you, they confuse it with restructuring. They fly, let's do force major, constitutional force rubbish, nonsense. When that doesn't work, they say, oh, remember Jagaban is running in 2093. Then the people in, what's his name again, Tifnubu, in his campaign, the same people, the same Yoruba journalists writing rubbish about Tinubu, his presidential ambition. They won't tell you that the Yorubas who are in refugee camps in Benin Republic as a result of Fulani terrorism in Yoruba land. Are you understanding me this evening? Some of you may not understand, but majority, they do follow what we are saying. That is why they said you are proscribed. That is why they said, oh, you're a terrorist group. They understand that we are the only people capable of matching them. I say it without any apologies to anybody. It is IPOB. Without IPOB, you are all gone. You are nothing without IPOB. Indigenous people of Biafra. The last line of defense between the people and those who are hell-bent on their destruction. We must rise up and fight until Nigeria is partitioned. We must all rise up and fight the same way that Britain fought to leave the EU. We must all fight to leave this unholy union. If you stay in it, you will die there. Ask people of Benue what's happening to them. Because you are in one Nigeria, that is why your villages are being renamed. Ask Plateau people, they will tell you Why are you suffering today? Because you are in one Nigeria. If you had your own country or willingly or freely entered into an agreement to forge a country on alliance with other people, this nonsense cannot be happening. If you remain in one Nigeria, every Fulani in the Sahel, every product of darkness that the Fulani race has ever given birth to will descend upon you. And you are gone, and gone for good. Why do you think they bought over Facebook? They understand what they are doing. They know what they are doing. And before you realize it, it's too late for all of you. Because some corrupt tendencies in the West, they need access to oil and gas for free. And the Fulani can give it to them. I advise each and every one of you who are not very familiar with Lugard's report on amalgamation, and I want Carol Monday to please release it. Our dear sister Carol Monday to release the full report of amalgamation so that people can study it. You will see the reason why they amalgamated the North and the South and what they said about Fulani Janjaweed. You will be amazed. Those things are still prevalent till this very day. I want the British to understand this. I want the Efulefu Brigade to understand this. I want all those confused one Nigerians to understand this. I want all those who are inferior, suffering from inferiority complex, to understand this as well. We are confronting Fulani terrorists from the Sahel and their sympathizers in the Nigerian Army and Police and Navy. And we don't want to confront the British. They should stay out of this. When Biafra is established, we will have a normal relationship with Britain, the same way that USA has one with them. USA fought Britain to be free. Today, they are closest of allies. Japan fought Britain. Today, they are very, very close, including Germany as well. The same thing will also happen to us. We are going to be very close with them eventually, but we are not going to capitulate. Some of you idiotic Fulefus do not understand what ESN is doing on a daily basis in our land, trying to defend us from those who are hell-bent on killing us. The State Commissioner of Police in Ebonyi State is Fulani, or a Fulani street. The same thing in Enugu State as well. And they are helping their people to take over our land by force. And some of you are busy clapping for them. Clapping for them. Do you know that today that outsiders were asking us for help today? I was shocked when I read this today. Somebody wrote from Kaduna State. He said, "Dear ESN, please, we need your assistance in Brennan Gwari, Kaduna State, and Faskari, Sapua, Yankara, Dandume in Katsina State as well. One, Brennan Gwari is in Kaduna State. Faskari, Sapua, Yankara, Dandume are all in Katsina State. The people in those communities are unable to sleep in their homes. In Faskari local government, there is daily attacks by Fulani in the area. Please come and save our lives. ESN, we lay down and beg you." A Hausa man was writing this today as a comment. And I said I'll read it out for the whole world to hear. They recognize that it's only ESN who can help. Even in Katsina State is owned by Hausa people. But the Fulanis, they came, some from Niger. That's why Chibika Mechi wants to build a railway line to Buhari's natural village in Niger. And all of you are clapping. See how hopeless. As I keep saying, I don't want to get upset and say things that Elohim may hold against me sometime in the future. But here I am reading for you a message from a Hausa man saying, "Dear ESN, please, we need you." And he mentioned the villages where Fulani are slaughtering them because they are in one Nigeria. Hausa Fulani, one Nigeria. Hausa Fulani, one Nigeria. What is happening today in Brennan Gwari in Kaduna State? What is happening in Faskari, Sapua, Yankara, Dume in Katsina State. What is going on? Because you believe in one Nigeria, that is why you're dying. Ask the governor of Kaduna State that believes in one Nigeria, why did you take your child out of school this evening? Why? They will tell you it's because of terrorism and banditry. Who brought the terrorism and banditry? The same Kaduna State governor, El Rufai. Black people, you have a mental problem. Believe you me. Only if you can reason. Only if black people can reason. Only if things won't be the way they are today. Even when it is very clear and obvious to everybody that Eastern Security Network ESN is only protecting the people of the East against terrorists and killer headsmen, the Nigerian army is busy trying to kill as many people as possible in the name of hunting down ESN. All the governors you have, the Hopus are the mouths of this, not even a governor, the Saliki Fulani, you know what? Everybody wants to please the Fulani because they want money, they want to stay in power, they want to stay in office. We are not going to allow that at all. We can't allow it. If you say we cannot sleep in our land, you yourself cannot sleep. Army will not sleep, police will not sleep, nobody is going to go to sleep. We are all going to die there. Let me make it very clear. If you are an army, it doesn't matter how many you are, you will die in the land of Biafra, I assure you, before God and before man. All of you will die there. Check your baboon or come there. You think now is like before you come, you terrorize, you put fear into people and you get away scot-free. Not anymore. If you kill, you'll be killed. I'm telling you the truth. If every police station where you mount this your raid and arrest from, it's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time. You can't escape justice. Only a matter of time, I assure you. There are mad people everywhere. It beats my imagination why and how Nigerian governors and Eastern governors, to be precise, will ignore the enemies terrorizing their land only to attack ESM, who are there to protect and to secure the lives of our people. I don't know if it's envy, as somebody wrote. I don't know if it is wickedness. I don't know if it is madness. I don't know what it is. ESN is there to protect our land. And you're fighting ESN. I don't know if you are mad, if you're insane, if you are foolish, if you're envious, or if you're downright hopeless. I don't know which of these diseases one afflicting you. But you are in a country you call Nigeria. And in that same country you call Nigeria, somebody who calls himself the transport minister said he went to Niger Republic. This is the Punch newspaper. I beg the Niger Republic to let Nigeria construct free railway for them. And now you ask yourself, where will you get the money to construct this free railway? Some will say it's loan from China. Yes. Loan from China secured on what? The collateral is oil and gas sales in the future. Where does this oil and gas come from? From Biafra land. Now, it's simple common sense. Does Biafra land have standard gauge railway line? The answer is no. But have you come to beg us if you build railways for us? You can't make it. The answer is no. But you went to Niger Republic to beg them. And some of you claim you went to school. And you are in the stupid, damnable zoological republic. The project will cost $1.95 billion. Money from Biafra land, oil and gas. That's when Britain sees this, they say, no, we need that money. We need that gas and oil. And that's why they are talking rubbish about Nigeria becoming one. And you, in your black African idiotic way of life, of reasoning, of course, you allow them to do whatever they like. Now is the time to rise up and say enough is enough. Let Niger Republic take care of itself. Every day they come to us with war, talking about war. You can't break Nigeria without war or bloodshed. But did Nigeria become independent by going to war? Britain owned Nigeria. They could have done with Nigeria everything they well damn liked. Nobody could have done anything about it. You can't break Nigeria without war or bloodshed. So that means that Janjaweed and Majiri, Arewa Consultative Forum, they know nothing about referendum. They are telling us that we're a conquered people. Because if we are in a union, as Britain and America is claiming that Nigeria is a union, then you ask me what I want. Not to tell me I have to go to war. If I want to, if I want to exercise the will of the people, I have to go to war. Yorubas are saying that they want to be free. Biafrans are saying they want to be free. Not minding what idiots like Black are saying, all those fools. In Abuja, Aborigine, count us out of any Biafra who to do what. You believe a warrior. I don't know what this. Maybe you go to the north and they give you flour and they put something in it. Some of you drink and come back and you're talking rubbish. As our dear brother said, Lele Barry said a while ago, anytime you hear we Niger Delta, you know there's no money in their pocket anymore. Who gave us the word Biafra when we all forgot about it? And a German, useless fools everywhere. Who told us about Biafra? Was it a German? Can't he jump out of this Biafra in Abuja when the time comes now? You know there's rain, heavy rain is falling in Akwa Ibom. You know what I'm saying? Heavy rain is falling. Very soon it will fall in Bayelsa. Go. Idiots everywhere. You can't break Nigeria without war. We are going to cripple the zoo. We are going to stand up to fight for our right to be free. We are not subjects of foreign caliphates. Fools can subscribe to that. Not this very IPOB that I lead. It can never happen. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. And they understand it. You know, they used to call us toothless bulldog. They can't do anything. It's online. They're online. They're toothless. And I agree with you. If this toothless bulldog can be doing this thing when it has no teeth, imagine when it grows the teeth, what will happen? I'm no longer, as Marachi wrote today, nobody's having that small boy. Overnight, we are now adults. Yeah, zoological republic. They have no idea what is coming. They think if they arrest people, if you parade them in Abuja, if you torture people and get them to confess, if you rape our women somehow, we'll say, oh no, let's stop. You are building up more hatred and anger for Nigeria Army and Nigeria Police. Keep doing what you're doing. You tried the same thing in the Northeast against Boko Haram. Boko Haram was a peaceful movement. It was Nigeria Police that kept on killing them until they turned violent. That is the thing that you idiotic Nigerians must get into your skull. That is why I am measured in my critique of criticism of Boko Haram. They were peaceful. It was Nigeria Police and Army that kept killing them to the point where they now turned violent. Is that not the truth? Come and be arresting, parade them all you like. That police commissioner, they will catch your children who parade them as well. I want to assure you of that. Before I do something, I say I announce it in the public, so you know it's me. You know who to hold responsible. I warned all of you. The army and the police in our land, you will die there. I swear to God Almighty in heaven, you will die in Biafra land. All of you will die there. Keep arresting and parading. Keep killing innocent people. That is entirely your business. The more you kill us, the angrier we become. The more determined we become. The more fanatical we become. You tried this thing in the northeast of the zoo in Bruno. What happened today? What happened? Are you not running and begging for your dear lives? Keep doing the nonsense you're doing. And you see what will happen to you. Think I have any apologies to make for any of this nonsense? Of course not. Take a book Arewa Consultative Forum National Publicity. Emmanuel Yahweh. You know how foolish our people are. When they want to issue all these innocuous statements, they use a Christian, as they used Gowon, who was a Christian, to do their evil deeds for them. As Britain is using Fulani, Fulani is using some of you who are idiotic, foolish people. Arewa Consultative Forum National Publicity Secretary is Emmanuel Yahweh. He's a Christian, but he's working. He's working with the Janjaweed. He is working with Janjaweed. Very, very sad indeed. He said Nigeria is a free country, and everyone is entitled to his opinion. I am entitled to mine. You sent me to detention because I freely expressed my opinion. That's all that I want to be Biafra. I want to be free. He said, send him to the country. And everyone is entitled to his opinion. I am entitled to mine. You sent me to detention because I freely expressed my opinion. That's all that I want to be Biafra. I want to be free. He said, send him to jail. Country. And everyone is entitled to his opinion. I am entitled to mine. You sent me to detention because I freely expressed my opinion. That's all that I want to be Biafra. I want to be free. He said, send the country. And everyone is entitled to his opinion. I am entitled to mine. You sent me to detention because I freely expressed my opinion. That's all that I want to be Biafra. I want to be free. He said, send him to jail. Country. And everyone is entitled to his opinion. I am entitled to mine. You sent me to detention because I freely expressed my opinion. That's all that I want to be Biafra. I want to be free. He said, send him to jail. Country. And everyone is entitled to his opinion. I am entitled to mine. You sent me to detention because I freely expressed my opinion. That's all that I want to be Biafra. I want to be free. He said, send him to jail. Country. And everyone is entitled to his opinion. I am entitled to mine.
El dinero no crece.
Country. And everyone is entitled to his opinion. I am entitled to mine. You sent me to detention because I freely expressed my opinion. That's all that I want to be Biafra. I want to be free. He said, send him. Country. I am entitled to mine. You sent me to detention because I freely expressed my opinion. That's all that I want to be Biafra. I want to be free. Country. And everyone is entitled to his opinion. I am entitled to mine. You sent me to detention because I freely expressed my opinion. That's all that I want to be Biafra. I want to be free. So I said, and Everyone is entitled to his opinion. I am entitled to mine. You sent me to detention because I feel everyone is entitled to his opinion. That's all. I want to BIAFRA. I want to be free. It's as simple. Country. And everyone is entitled to his opinion. I am entitled to mine. You sent me to detention because